The Marlin 1895 Dark Series in 4570. Let's check it out. Lever action rifle. This is Americana as it gets. I mean, it was the gun that won the Old West. They've been used by hunters for generations. It's just one of those rifles that a lot of homes have these. They're fast, they're lightweight, they're just great rifles. This is the Marlin Model 1894. It's in 44 Magnum. We've done a review on this particular rifle, and this is the classic. I mean, it's got the beautiful wood stock, hot salt bluing. But today we're going to take a look at a lever action rifle, the 1895 in 4570. And this is the Dark Series, really put in a more tactical form. That's been really the rage with a lot of the lever action rifles, kind of bringing it back up to date. Now 4570 is one of my all-time favorite lever action calibers. It's big, it's hard hitting, but when you add these modern features to it, it brings it up to date. And Ruger, when they purchased Marlin in 2020, they brought back the glory of Marlin. And we want to give a big thank you to Marlin for sending the Model 1895 Dark Series 4570 for this review. I love 4570. Marlin 1895 Dark Series in 4570. I'll tell you guys, this has a lot of different accessories. It looks completely different than your classical lever action rifle. But a lot of guys have been upgrading their traditional lever action to accept M-LOK accessories, changing out the stock, putting on Picatinny rails, adding quivers, doing a lot of work to these old lever actions. One of the things about the Dark Series is it gives you a rifle right out of the box that's more tactical, more able to be used for hunting, to add a lot of different accessories. Now for a few years, Marlin really suffered under Remington and the quality went down. Once Ruger bought Marlin, they really stepped up their game, and I've been very impressed with the new Marlin line. The very first centerfire rifle I ever bought was a Marlin 3030. It was a 30A, which is the budget line of the Model 336. And so I have a very special place for Marlin rifles. We're going to make sure the gun's unloaded, open up the lever, check down here in your chamber. You can see the orange follower down in there, and then of course the chamber's empty. Now this does have one of the cross bolt safeties. Here when we push it out, you can see the red marking. That means that it is on fire. Now one thing about it is when you pull the trigger, it's going to go forward. And then when you have the cross bolt safety, it stops right before the firing pin. And you can keep this in the half cock position. The black Cerakote finish on the receiver is very well done. Also on the barrel. This gives it just a lot of corrosion resistance, especially in the outdoors. Now we have a Picatinny rail on top, and it's on the receiver and it extends out toward the barrel. This is not only going to give you real estate for scopes, but also for night vision. So, you know, these are used for hunting, especially hog hunting. So this just gives you capability to add night vision if you want. The barrel is cold hammer forged, which increases your longevity. It also increases accuracy because you can get those lands and grooves even more crisp. The handguard's anodized. It is an M-LOK compatible rail, and it has positions at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. We also have a QD port here and on the other side. And lights, lasers, even ammo quivers can go on the rail. And here at the end of the barrel, we have a muzzle brake. And with 4570, especially if you get those more hotter loads, that's really going to help. But they also include a standard thread protector. Now, we shot it with the muzzle brake and we shot it with the thread protector. And so we're going to check that out when we go to the range. And it does give you the capacity to add a suppressor. Then we have a fiber optic front sight, but we also have a tritium ring right at the edge. So this is going to give you low light capability as well. And it matches up with the Ghost ring sight or aperture sight in the back. And this is a really good sight picture, and this is adjustable. But the lever is one thing that I really like. It's a mid-size lever, but it has this flattened area at the bottom that kind of comes out. And so when you put your hand in here, it's going to make it much easier to be able to activate that lever, and it's going to make it more comfortable. A lot of times with these rails, they're very thin, and guys, they will wear your hand out. So this is a big upgrade. And the lever is black nitrided. Synthetic stock, this just really lightens the weight of this rifle. Typically the 1895 is a heavy rifle, and we're going to compare it to an 1894. But the pistol grip gives you a lot of texturing right here. There are inserts, so I don't know if there's going to be added accessories to do some kind of customizing here. But it does give you that pistol grip, which I really like. There's also a cheek riser that is included. It snaps right here onto the QD ports and here at the front. And this is going to allow you to really get that right cheek weld for optics. Now for us, we were shooting one of the little mini ACOGs, which was doing fantastic. And really for this rifle, I love it. It has the ACSS reticle. But really that cheek riser just put us in the right position. And you have this open area, again, which relieves weight, but it has M-LOK slots. Now, a lot of people have questioned the validity of this because it is a small area. In fact, taking the 4570, I mean, it just fits at this last slot. So there's not going to fit in this direction without sticking out past the stock. But Hoptic USA makes a quiver that actually fits, and it'll set your rounds vertically. And so this gives you an option right here. Plus, there could be other options as far as a small med kit or something to just be able to slide into this recessed area. And we have our QD ports that are flush, and that's going to be great for sling swivels. The butt pad is very effective. It even has an insert inside, and especially when you're shooting those hotter loads. Now, one thing that is a big plus for this rifle is the small screws are Torx head. So you're going to be able to really get a good solid grip. You know, if they're the flat, it makes it very difficult to get in there, and especially when you need to maintain or clean your rifle. And so these Torx heads are very secure and really easy to take in and out if you need to work on your action. The hammer is spurred. When we were at the range, we were using one of the extensions, hammer extensions on the side, which does come with the rifle. And that just makes it nice, especially if you have optics. But it also just helps to be able to pull that down, makes it easier to pull the hammer down into the fire position. And guys, when it comes to 4570, it is a big bullet. In fact, I'm going to put this 44 Magnum beside it, it dwarfs it. And this is a 405 grain projectile. But one of the things about 4570 is that you can really go to a very softer shooting load all the way up to a shoulder cracking load. I mean, they make some loads that are super hot. And so 4570, again, it's been around for well over 100 years. And it's taken all the Big Five in Africa. I mean, it is a capable round. Here we have the Marlin Model 1894. It's in 44 Magnum. It's in the traditional classic series look. Walnut stocks. Hot salt bluing, has no pistol grip, has more of a straight lever, more the smaller type lever. It's a 20-inch barrel. We've done a full review on this rifle. It's just an excellent rifle. And then we have the 1895. Now the 1895 has some differences. We're going to take a quick look at it. But it is a stronger action. This does come in the classic series just like your 1894. But the action of the 1895 is the big difference. Now, being the 1895 model, I wanted to compare it with the 1894. One of the big things about the 1895 is the bolt is cylinder type shape. It's round, and so it comes out really slick. It is able, because the receiver encases the bolt, to take rounds that are with higher pressure. So that's one of the big pluses for the 1895. One of the problems with the 1895 typically is it's heavier because it has a heavier receiver. With this composite stock, it makes this a very light option. Now here with the 1894, and of course Winchester made this one famous as well. You have flat sides on your bolt, so you can see that the flat sides just work right outside the bolt. While it is somewhat encased, there is a section here at the back, and so this typically is for your lighter rounds. I mean 30-30 is fine, but this one is in 44 Magnum, and they come in 357 Magnum and some of those calibers. But the pressures are not quite as high as like a 45-70. But it also makes it very lightweight, so it just gives it a lighter, more handy rifle. But the other side is that this is enclosed, so if you're hunting, you're not going to get debris down in your bolt, and so, or snow or different things like that. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like this flat side. And honestly, it's very slick. But now your traditional Winchester 1895, it has an open receiver here. And so the rounds are ejected out of the top, and that means you can't attach an optic to the receiver. And typically you have to do it on the side mount, and it comes over it. So this to me is a much superior design, and you can see where we have the drilled and tapped, ready to go for your scope mount. And this one has just your standard buckhorn sights, and it has a hooded front sight. This is a light and handy rifle. It has those lesser loads, 30-30, 44 Magnum, 357 Magnum. And then we have the more stronger action of the 1895. And typically it's heavier, but because of the stock system, it's going to be lighter weight. And obviously you have a lot of capability. Big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo. 4570 right now is not the easiest to come by. You can find it. This is 405. It's lead round nose, flat nose ammunition. 405 grain is a pretty serious round. We have our loading gate right here, just push it down. I'm going to tell you guys, it is a very smooth loading of the magazine. It's one of the things that Marlin really suffered from toward the end before Ruger picked it up, is very stiff loading gates, very difficult to load. But what I found with these Ruger lever actions is they are not only up to Marlin par, they are beyond. Marlin made excellent lever action rifles for generations, and once they were bought out a few years ago, the quality just went down. It's a great thing that Ruger picked this up because they have really put together some beautiful high quality lever action rifles. This is the Dark Series, it's in 4570, and it gives you all those features that you have with any modern sporting rifle. I mean, M-lock accessories, Picatinny rail on top, you have ghost ring sights. We have a compensator at the end, composite stocks that are adjustable and changeable. So this is something that, has really been hugely popular lately. With 4570, it gives you a good wallop, but it gives you a lot of power. So we're just going to fire off a few rounds. Now the compensator on the end definitely helps tame the recoil. We've shot it without the compensator just to see the difference. Definitely more in your shoulder. Just that 4570 has a lot of punch. It's a 405 grain bullet coming out of this one. It's just a very smooth shooting gun. One thing I really like is how they flattened off right here at the lever, because sometimes it's kind of sharp if you're changing it really quick. This makes it really comfortable. The Cerakote finish is really nice. I mean, it's just a beautiful rifle. It really smooth to load. Very slick action. I'll tell you guys, I'm just really glad that Ruger picked up Marlin because they are not only meeting the standard of Ruger, but they are definitely upping their game to even a superior rifle. The group we got on video, this is the group we got right before it, just to make sure it was sighted in. I could have moved it over just a touch, but it was close enough just to get the accuracy. But that's a phenomenal group. That's 5 shots. All right, price. Manufacturer suggested retail is $1,379. Now, of course, dealer price is going to be less typically. I mean, these are kind of hard to find right now because they've become so popular. One of the things, again, that a lot of people are doing is switching out all their parts, and this is going to give you a ready, out-of-the-box, very capable lever action rifle. It's going to bring it up to modern standards. Of course, M-LOK rails, you got your synthetic stock, you have your Cerakote finish, you have your Picatinny rail all on top. The sights are excellent. I love them. The ghost ring in the back, the fiber optic with a tritium ring around it, threaded barrel. I love this lever. I mean, giving that wideness at the bottom really makes it more comfortable to work the action. And the torque screws, which seem like a small thing, but that's a big deal when you're having to maintain your rifle. So overall, just a beautiful rifle. It definitely brings it up to the 21st century. But you know what? If you like that classic look, Marlin's putting out some really beautiful rifles as well. And these do come in a number of different calibers. So guys, if you're a big fan of the lever action rifle, I mean, Marlin is putting out some really beautiful classic designs. But if you want to enter the 21st century, I mean, the Marlin Dark Series is just very capable. A lot of things have been done to this rifle to really bring it up to date. And there's a lot of guys that are taking those original classic lever actions and they're tricking them out with all these different accessories. But with the Dark Series, you're getting everything in one package. It's lightweight, it's fast, I mean, it's a lever action, and it's just a lot of fun. And again, we want to give a big thank you to Marlin and Ruger for sending the model 1895 Dark Series 4570 for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. I'll tell you again, Marlin, and I'll tell you again, the Marlin model, this does come in that standard classic version. Now this does come in the classic, what is that? Guys, here we have the walnut, we have the walnut. This is the walnut for whatever you're doing. I mean, whatever. You may be going to the bathroom, I don't know. They completely redid the whole world. They did the whole freaking world. They redid the world. And Shannon's leaving. Feel the power of the Dark Series.